Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Burning Down Babylon. This is your host, Lloyd White. Always doing it right. Let's get to it. Welcome back to Burning Down Babylon. This is your host, Lloyd White. Always doing it right. So we got Ezra Levant, and he is shilling for Shekels. He's appeared to have gotten himself in another jam with the legal system in Canada, and he's been sued again. So let's go to the video, and I'll pop in with some commentary. And this video, he's crying about free speech. And you're going to notice when it's free speech when he is, denigrating Muslims, or he has his journalists like Tommy Robinson and Kaylani, whatever his or her name is. When they're calling Muslims pedophiles and rapists, that's okay. That's free speech. But when they make comments back, then, that's hate speech. So let's go to the video.
Bad news in the battle for freedom of speech and the separation of mosque and state. Today, the Supreme Court of Canada refused to hear an appeal of the defamation judgment against me brought some 8 years ago by Khurrum Awan. Awan is the former youth president of the Canadian Islamic Congress. If you've been following my case, you'll know that one of the reasons I lost was that the judge ruled that calling Awan an anti-Semite was defamatory. But Awan used to be the youth president.
Now that right there sums it up. Anytime, and this has happened to me millions of times, with my new channel, Burning Down Babylon, I've been called an anti-Semite many times. I'm not an anti-Semite. I'm an anti-Zionist. There's a big difference. You don't have to be Jewish to be a Zionist. But as soon as you say anything about these Zionist Jews, they go right for the anti-Semite button. And that's the label they whack you with. So after they say that, anything you say thereafter is discounted. It's thrown away. Once you're called an anti-Semite, there's nothing you can say or do after that. They nail you down. And it's a weaponized word, like conspiracy theorist. And it's used all the time. So let's move on.
President of an anti-Semitic group, the Canadian Islamic Congress. Back then, that group was led by a notorious anti-Semite, Mohammed al-Masri. He went on national TV to declare that any adult in Israel is a legitimate target for terrorism.
Totally innocent are the children, obviously.
Yeah.
Okay? But they are not innocent if they are military in civilian clothes. Okay?
What about women?
The same if they are women in the...
Okay. Here's a little fact for everybody. This gentleman just said the children are innocent. Okay? Children are innocent. But the adults are not. Now, what you need to know here is that when you reach the age, I don't know what age it is, let's just go with 18. I believe that's the age. When you reach the age of adulthood in Israel, you have to serve 2 years in the military. Therefore, you have people who are in the military walking around in civilians' clothes. Okay? Every adult, man or woman, both genders, have to serve in the military. So if you're an adult in Israel, you are in the military. That's the way their culture goes. That's why he said about adults who are in the military walking around in civilians' clothes.
in the army,
Anyone over the age of 18 in Israel is a valid target.
Anybody above 18 is a part of the Israeli popular army.
Everyone in Israel and anyone and everyone in Israel, irrespective of gender, over the age of 18 is a valid target.
Yeah, that's an anti-Semite. That group even called for the legalization of terrorist groups like Hamas and Hezbollah.
Hamas and Hezbollah are political parties that were elected democratically. They're political parties, like Democrat and Republican. They've been voted in. And saying that every adult in Israel is a target is not anti-Semitism. Arabs are Semites as well. Jews aren't the only group that belong to the Semite, class, whatever you want to call it. Right away, he's an anti-Semite. He didn't say anti-Semitic. He didn't say anything anti-Semitic. He didn't say that he hates Jews or blah, blah, blah. All adults over the age of 18 serve in the military, and therefore, they are targets. That's what he said. That's not an anti-Semitic statement. But Ezra will want you to believe that, as he cries and begs for shekels, which will happen later.
But the judge ruled it was defamatory for me to call their former youth president anti-Semitic, because Awan denied he was in court and said he knew nothing about the organization's infamous misconduct. The judge ruled I did not prove it was factually true, even though Awan himself testified at trial that he agreed it's reasonable for people to call certain statements by the Canadian Islamic Congress anti-Semitic. Well, I appealed that trial judgment, and I lost. And now the Supreme Court won't hear a further appeal. And so now I have to pay $80,000 to Awan, plus his legal fees. That's obviously a blow to...
And there's the ringer, guys. Poor Ezra has to pay $80,000 plus legal fees because he tried to slap the old anti-Semite label on someone and they fought him back. And kudos to the judge and the Supreme Court in Canada for not hearing this and not going along with the whole anti-Semitic agenda. Because that's what they do to you. They label you an anti-Semite, and then that's it. You're done once you're labeled an anti-Semite. The guy never said he's an anti-Semite. He said, yeah, maybe some statements come from the group. He's not the group. He's only an individual. He's not responsible for what other people say. But the whole point of the video, now Ezra has to pay money. Because he's been sued again. And he lost.
...to me financially, but what worries me more is that a legal precedent has now been set. If you call a leader of an anti-Semitic group anti-Semitic, you can be sued for defamation.
You have to prove. You have to prove he's an anti-Semite. And you didn't do that, Ezra. You can't just call people names and expect everyone to go along with it. People are sick and tired of hearing the whole anti-Semite bullshit. If he did something that was actually anti-Semitic, the judge would have ruled in your favor. But he didn't. And they're not going to hear it anymore. And that's great that a precedent has been set. You can't just slap the old anti-Semite tag on someone and think that you win the case.
That cool breeze you're feeling right now, that's called libel chill. Going over every newspaper columnist, every political activist, every Jewish student or Christian student on campus. There is outrageous anti-Semitism on university campuses these days, by the way, and it's not illegal, of course. But what is now illegal?
And then what do you see there? Stop Israel's apartheid wall. Israel has apartheid. They separate the country and make the Muslims, the Palestinians, live in a walled-off section, which is very, very, very small, while Israel controls the rest of the land. And that space that the Palestinians are allowed to live in grows smaller by the day. It's okay for Israel to separate by race. It's okay for Israel to separate by religion. But you don't see the Zionists in the media, back in the wall Trump wants to build between Mexico and the United States. That's racist. Or segregation by religion is racist. Unless it's Muslims and it's Israel doing it, then it's okay.
Legal is calling members of those anti-Semitic campus groups anti-Semites. That's the law, and I've got to pay $80,000 for breaking it. This isn't the...
Oh, goy! I messed up. Now I gotta pay some shekels. And of course I don't want to pay the shekels out of my own pocket there, goy. So I'm gonna make a video and ask for you goys to pay my legal fees. And you know, judging by the comment section, a bunch of idiots are gonna give this guy money. Every time he gets his ass in heat, what's he gonna do? Ask for shekels.
First time that Awan has used the courts as a weapon to fight enemies of Islam. You'll recall that Awan was a law student who took the great Mark Steyn to not one, not two, but 3 different human rights commissions for hate speech, all because Steyn wrote this cover story about Muslim expansionism in the West. Well, Steyn was proven right, of course, as the weekly terrorist attacks in France and the UK show. And it was my critical coverage of Awan's lawfare against Steyn that caused Awan to target me with his lawsuit. Well, nearly 11 years has passed since Steyn first wrote that Maclean's essay in October 2000.
Where's the essay on Israel's expansion? Pull up a map of Israel's expansion from 1948 till today. Or go from the war in 67 and go from 1967 till today, and you look at the expansion that Israel has done to the Palestinians and how much land the Palestinians actually still have. Because it's not much. And they're pushing for more. Every day they take more. They take over a Palestinian city, they bulldoze it down, they kick the Palestinians out of their own land, and they build a wall and push them out. And then they build new cities in their place. They don't talk about Zionist expansion, though. Where's the articles on Zionist expansion? You'll never, ever hear these people talk about the Greater Israel Project, which is Israeli expansion, which has been going on for decades. That's why the U.S. has been going to war with Syria and Iraq, putting sanctions on Iran. Color revolutions, started by the CIA and the Mossad and the Saudis. But they ain't going to talk about that.
2006. Awan sued me in 2009. That's a long time. And that battle is over. But what is Khurrum Awan up to now? Well, he left Toronto, got married, settled down, started a family. He's working for a law firm in Regina. But he's not done with using our Western courts to promote his Islamic agenda. Just 6 weeks ago, Awan filed this.
Now here's what Ezra's going to do. He's going to pivot into this guy's personal life. Now, we have no idea what's going on with this case. But Ezra's going to bring it up for more defamation, to paint this guy as a bad guy, with no proof. He's just going to bring up a case he has against one of his neighbors. This is the kind of bullshit these people do. You're going to tell me that the Jews never used a court as a weapon against someone? How many lawyers are Jewish? How many of the top lawyers in the West, in Canada and United States, are Jewish? How many people in the government that are now having a federal employment were lawyers and are Jewish? So don't give me that bullshit, Ezra, that the Muslims are now using the Western court as a weapon. Because I wonder where he got that idea.
Stunning lawsuit against his neighbor in Regina. Now, most of it is just a legal squabble that neighbors sometimes have. Awan and his wife, Ayesha Ahmed, claim that there are, quote, approximately 3 trees, the branches of which overhang the plaintiff's backyard. And some of those neighbors' branches snapped and fell. Well, the lady who owns the neighboring house, by the way, is 77 years old, and she actually just lost one of her daughters on Mother's Day, if you can believe it, but that hasn't slowed Awan's lawsuit down. Just yesterday, she got another threatening email. So maybe this grieving granny is not doing all the gardening she should. I mean, she's 77. But Awan and his wife have sued her. There's also a squabble about barking dogs. The whole thing is a mess. So Awan's neighbor put in a surveillance camera. I don't know exactly what's going on. The facts haven't been proven yet. Here's a picture.
Exactly. Once again, Ezra doesn't know what's going on and he doesn't have any facts. But he's still going to run this piece. He's still gonna run this hit piece against this man. This picture don't show shit. You know, if a neighbor has a tree and branches are falling down, that could cause property damage. We don't know this story. Therefore, you don't speak on things you don't know about. But once again, Ezra's gonna go with this bullshit fucking story and try to paint this guy as a bad guy. Even bringing up his wife. What does his wife have to do with it? Fuck you, Ezra.
Picture of the backyard of the 77-year-old woman's home. I can imagine that some branches do.
It doesn't matter how old you are or if someone in your family dies. You have an obligation to take care of your property. Is it unfortunate? Yeah, it is unfortunate. But the lady still has to take care of her property.
Do fall off from time to time, but it doesn't look particularly bad to my eyes. I mean, tell you the truth, this all sounds like a couple of arguing neighbors. I don't care. There's no news there. So
yeah, there's no news here at all. What the fuck does this have to do with you getting sued because you're throwing fucking anti-Semitic labels on people with no proof? This guy's personal life has nothing to do with your case or what's going on with you. It has nothing to do with you asking for shekels, does it? No, but he's going to use this piece to make this guy look like a fucking scumbag. But who's the scumbag, Ezra? It's you.
So hard words back and forth, but Awan is a lawyer with lawyer friends. So we got another lawyer named Ahmed Malik.
What group of people, rhymes with newish, are lawyers and have lawyer friends? I wonder who that is.
To draft up a lawsuit against his neighbor, demanding $25,000 for the branches. Another $20,000 because that granny, she put in a security camera and a sign to that effect. Punitive damage of $15,000. So what, we're up to $60,000 now? Oh, plus what Awan claims is his lost property values. But who knows? Maybe that 77-year-old granny really is evil, and maybe she is really being mean about the branches or whatever. It seems punitive, it seems like bullying, but it could be legit, I don't know. But look at this. Look at this. I am quoting from the lawsuit.
He's going to throw a little 666 sign right in your face. Ezra, look how much you've done your homework on this guy to dig up his personal life and find out he has a lawsuit against his neighbor. And you dig up the neighbor's personal life to find out that you found out the woman's age, you found out that she has a daughter that has passed away. You got all that proof, you did all that research, but you don't have any proof that this guy's an anti-Semite. The reason you lost in court. But go on, Ezra, please.
Khurrum Awan and his wife filed. So they don't like the branches or the security camera or the sign, fine. But look at this. Breach of privacy. The sign is accompanied with a large Christian cross. I'm quoting from the lawsuit here. And there's a picture of the cross. Pardon me, what's that doing in a lawsuit? I thought this was a squabble over branches and barking dogs. What's with the cross business? Oh, yeah.
What's with this guy's personal life business, Ezra? What the fuck does this have to do with you losing in court? Nothing. You're just trying to make the guy look bad. But we're going to get to why he's doing this in the end of the video.
Yes. Let me read from the lawsuit. Violation of human rights. The plaintiffs plead further that the posting of the sign, the video camera, and the cross in a location where they are aimed at the plaintiffs is an attempt to intimidate and discriminate against the plaintiffs who are visible minorities and visible Muslims. Say what? I mean, I get that you're fighting over branches and dogs, but you're playing the race card, the religion card, but you're the one.
You're playing the religion card? Who's calling the guy an anti-Semite? Who's playing the race card, Ezra? Who's playing the religion card? It's you! It's the reason you lost your case. Because you have no proof. As soon as one of these people get in any kind of trouble, they throw the anti-Semite card at someone. And usually you get other Jewish lawyers and a Jewish judge to go along with it. But they didn't fall for that bullshit.
One. suing the granny over her religious symbol. Oh, yes. They hate crosses, the Awans. They actually wrote that the cross was aimed at them, like it was a gun or something. Here's more from their lawsuit. A further cross, the second cross, was observed by the plaintiffs in the defendant's backyard on or around April 13th. Yeah, here's another cross, just to be clear. It is absolutely on the 77-year-old neighbor's property. That's not what's upsetting the Awans. They say that by merely having the cross, the neighbor is, get this, she's racist. Oh, yeah. Here's what Khurrum Awan and his lovely wife, Ayesha Ahmed, here's what they are asking the court to do. This is one of their demands at the end of the lawsuit. Again, I don't really care about the branches and the security camera and the barking dogs. Those are normal quarrels. I don't care.
If you didn't care, then why have you been going on for 5 minutes? Why are you making a video that millions of people are going to see bitching and asking for fucking money if you didn't care? If you didn't care, you wouldn't be making a video, douchebag.
That's not politics. That's not in the public interest. But look at this. Awan and his wife demand this. An injunction ordering the defendants to permanently remove the cross or alternatively to permanently relocate it to an appropriate part of the defendant's home, unquote. I couldn't believe this. I mean, surely this wasn't real. Is this a real lawsuit? Well, I called up Awan's lawyer, Ahmed Malik, and he confirmed it was. Oh, but Awan and his wife, they're open to a negotiated settlement. Really? Really. And that settlement proposal happens to include a clause demanding that the neighbor remove her crosses, I swear to God. Now, I don't know who's to blame about the barking dogs or the branches falling. I don't care. But only a bully would use a lawsuit to try to get a 77-year-old woman to move a Catholic cross off her own backyard property. The same bully who was the youth president of the Anti-Semitic Canadian Islamic Congress.
No, I'll say right now, I don't agree with the removal of the crosses. It's her private property. She can do whatever she wants with the crosses. But if you've ever been to court, this is how it works. They pile charges on, so then you plead down for a lesser charge. Just because someone files something in the court doesn't mean that that's what's going to happen. That never happens that way. So just because he filed for this money and the removal of the crosses doesn't mean it's going to happen. But it's part of the litigation. It's part of the game. But I do not agree that she should have to remove the crosses. You can put whatever you want on your own personal, private property.
Same bully who took Mark Stein to 3 human rights commissions. The same bully who just won $80,000 from me in court. And this bully has learned a lesson today, hasn't he? That the best way to wage a jihad against the West isn't through violence like terrorism. Are you kidding? The best way to wage a jihad against the West is peacefully, by using our own laws against us. A human rights kangaroo court against Mark Stein said,
but it's not a kangaroo court when you're calling someone an anti-Semite with no proof. Is it, Ezra? If you won and you were getting the 80 grand, would you be complaining right now? Would you be making a video whining?
censorious defamation laws against me, and just plain old suing a 77-year-old lady for having a Catholic cross on her deck.
Jews are the king of suing people. That's a meme about Jews suing you. That's a meme. People laugh about that. That's a fucking joke. Are you kidding me?
What next? Suing the other neighbors over Christmas lights?
What's next? You're gonna sue someone and call them an anti-Semite, Ezra? Is that what's next? You're gonna attack a group of people because they're Muslim? You're gonna attack their race and their religion? Are you gonna do that?
Yeah, Khurrum Awan. He's still the bully he always was, isn't he? But now, he's moved on to little grannies. Look, I've got to pay Awan his $80,000. I have no other choice. And I'm going to pay that from my own funds. I don't think I could ask anyone else to help with that.
But he's going to. He's still gonna ask you for money, though. He's gonna pay it out of his own pocket, and he's not gonna ask you for any money. But he's going to anyways.
If you want to help me with my legal fees, though, I'd be grateful for your help there. I still have to pay my lawyer. You can do that at standwithezra.ca. And once I raise enough to cover my own legal costs, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to send a check to that 77-year-old granny to help her cover her legal fees. Not for the...
Oh, aren't you the saint, Ezra? Prove it. He could say that now, and how many people are actually going to check and make sure he does? You think he's going to show that check on one of his videos? Is he going to make a video how he helped her and gave her the money? I highly doubt it. But if he says he's going to do that, people will send money. He's going to play on your heartstrings. He's going to play on your emotions. Make you think he's going to send this old lady some money when you know he's not going to.
The branches business or the barking dogs, but because no one should be sued for having a cross on their property. This is Canada, not Pakistan. If you can help, go to standwithezra.ca. If you want to fight for freedom of speech and the separation of mosque and state, please go to standwithezra.ca.
So Ezra, let me ask you this. Is it free speech when he speaks out about the Jews or Israel? What about his free speech? Does that count for him? He says something against the Jews, you call him an anti-Semite and try to sue him. But you can say whatever you want about Muslims and Islam. So it's, it's conveniently for him, free speech and rights. As far as I know, Canada doesn't even have a free speech right. But when you're a Zionist and you're attacking other groups, you can say whatever you want. That's free speech. But when they come back and say something like, all adults in Israel are targets, because all adults at the age of 18 and older have served in the military, male or female, so they're military targets. You can't say that. That's anti-Semitic. The weaponized word anti-Semite is not free speech. That's the total opposite of free speech. If Ezra really believed in free speech, he wouldn't be calling this guy an anti-Semite and trying to sue him. So when you're a Zionist and you're attacking Islam, you get all the free speech you want. But if you're like me, or you're a Muslim, or you don't go along with the Zionist agenda, you don't go along with Greater Israel, then you get called names like anti-Semite, and you have your free speech taken away. So how does it feel, Ezra? Once again, thumbs up to that judge and the Supreme Court in Canada. Because free speech goes for everyone, not just for who you agree with. This video's gotten long enough. Burning down Babylon, this is Lloyd White. Peace the fuck out, bitch. Woo! Don't forget to subscribe, comment, like, share. Thumbs up, thumbs down. Either way, Lloyd don't care. Thanks for watching, everybody. Peace.